The story of Shakuntala and Dushyanta begins with Vishvamitra, who desired to become a Brahmarshi. Brahmarshi is a title given to a sage or saint who has attained the highest level of spiritual realization and knowledge of the eternal truth. Indra, the king of devas, became afraid that Vishvamitra's power would surpass his own, so he sent Menaka, a beautiful apsara, to distract him. Menaka succeeded in breaking Vishvamitra's meditation, and they had a daughter together. Eventually, Vishvamitra realized that Indra had tricked him and that he needed to control his desires. He left Menaka, and she left their daughter at Rishi Kanva's hermitage before returning to heaven. Rishi Kanva found a baby in his hermitage, a girl who was being protected by Shakunta birds. He named the girl Shakuntala, which means Shakunta-protected in Sanskrit. In the Mahabharata, Kanva explains that he chose this name because she was surrounded by the birds in the wilderness. Shakuntala grew up there in Kanva ashram. On the other side, Dushyanta was the son of Ilin and Rathanti, also known as Ilina and Rathantara. As the eldest among his siblings, Sura, Bhima, Pravashu, and Vasu, Dushyanta became the king of Hastinapura after his father's death, following the rules of primogeniture. King Dushyanta was once hunting in the forests when he struck a fawn with his arrow. The fawn fled to the ashrama of Sage Kanva, and the king followed it. Upon reaching the ashrama, the king saw Shakuntala watering the plants, accompanied by her friends named Anasuya and Priyamvada. Dushyanta and Shakuntala fell in love with each other. Since the sage Kanva was absent from the ashrama, they married according to the gandharva rites, and Shakuntala soon became pregnant. After giving her his signet ring, the king assured her that he would return soon for her and then departed for his palace. Shakuntala spent much time dreaming of her new husband and was often distracted by her daydreams. One day, a powerful rishi, Durvasa, came to the ashrama but, lost in her thoughts about Dushyanta, Shakuntala failed to greet him properly. Incensed by this slight, the rishi cursed Shakuntala, saying that the person she was dreaming of would forget about her altogether. As he departed in a rage, one of Shakuntala's friends quickly explained to him the reason for her friend's distraction. The rishi, realizing that his extreme wrath was not justified, modified his curse, saying that the person who had forgotten Shakuntala would remember everything again if she showed him a personal token that had been given to her. Time passed, and Shakuntala, wondering why Dushyanta did not return for her, finally set out for the capital city with her foster father and some of her companions. On the way, they had to cross a river by a canoe ferry and, seduced by the deep blue waters of the river, Shakuntala ran her fingers through the water. Her ring slipped off her finger without her realizing it. Arriving at Dusyanta's court, Shakuntala was hurt and surprised when her husband did not recognize her, nor recollected anything about her. She tried to remind him that she was his wife, but without the ring, Dushyanta did not recognize her. Humiliated, she returned to the forests and, collecting her son, settled in a wild part of the forest by herself. Here she spent her days while Bharat, her son, grew older. Surrounded only by wild animals, Bharat grew to be a strong youth and made a sport of opening the mouths of tigers and lions and counting their teeth. Meanwhile, a fisherman was surprised to find a royal ring in the belly of a fish he had caught. Recognizing the royal seal, he took the ring to the palace and, upon seeing his ring, Dusyanta's memories of his lovely bride came rushing back to him. He immediately set out to find her and, arriving at her father's ashram, discovered that she was no longer there. He continued deeper into the forest to find his wife and came upon a surprising scene in the forest. A young boy had pried open the mouth of a lion and was busy counting its teeth. The king greeted the boy, amazed by his boldness and strength, and asked his name. He was surprised when the boy answered that he was Bharat, the son of King Dushyanta. The boy took him to Shakuntala, and thus the family was reunited. Bharat becoming a righteous king, extending his rule over the land and upholding the rule of Dharma with his descendants the mighty Kurus continuing his legacy. If you enjoy our videos, please also consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. It would be a great source of motivation for us.